Here comes a new challenger!
What's up? How you doing? Brand spanking new episode. Excuse me. With a cough of Chat and Draw. I'm Mike Watson, your host today and every day. Some of you may be asking, well, who are you, guy? I don't know who you are. What are your requirements or validations for hosting a show called Chat and Draw? I've got a couple. I just happen to be the founder of Freestyle Comics, the publisher of Short Fuse Media Group, one half of the good, the bad, and the nerdy, and just might be the most enthusiastic person in comics. Nah, I'll take that back. It's not a Matt, that's for sure. And I also go with the name of Super Mad Brother. So I'm out here in these streets of creativity, creating, crafting, and talking about that geekdom. Today, we've got a brand new creator. What's up, Daniel? What's up, Stephanie? Thanks for tuning in and joining us. How you guys doing on a Saturday morning? We got Stephanie scheduled to come back on for another episode right through her Kickstarter time. So that'll be next week. I'll be making new announcements early in the week about who we got going on. But I'm excited to get her back on here. We're doing her Kickstarter for the 3rd issue of her book. We got Stephanie Cooper in the building, who's down in Texas with Danny Cooper, the editor-in-chief of Freestyle Comics. And they are celebrating their son's graduation. Congrats. Hope you guys are having fun down there with them. Congrats to my nephew out there. I wish him luck in this thing that we call life that he is going upon right now. So now today is actually going to be the premiere episode or premiere debut of a creative. She's stepping from the fandom ring to the creative ring, and we are drawing an awesome character that just so happens to be a character that's going to be premiering and releasing with Freestyle Comics. Let me give you a little preview of this dopeness. Boom. Maybe a little, oh, would you look at that? Are those dragons? Are those dragons and swords and badassery? Yes. Yes, it is. This character is called Alyssa, and we're about to get ready to introduce the creator of this character, who is going by the same namesake. Here we go in our tradition format.
Here comes a new challenger!
Hello.
Welcome to the show, Alyssa.
Nice to be here.
Nice to meet you. Nice to have you here. Now, you are bringing some new content, and I actually want to show everybody this. Hopefully it does not skip. It seems like our internet connection is a little shaky now. I was strong 5 minutes ago, but you've got this character Alyssa, and I think this is my first time meeting your character because you have a trailer that you had made for this character that I thought was really awesome. So we're about to get ready to share that screen.
Cool.
And we're about to show that. Where is it? Bam. So hopefully everybody can see this and it won't skip. It's not a long trailer, but I thought it was pretty dope. And it says a lot about this character and who she is. Here we go. All right. So this is the first time I met this character, and I was like, man, this is freaking sweet. And this is something you commissioned. Would you look at that? And the music's so dope. I love music when it's, you got the right song for the right video.
Yeah, I was really surprised with the commissioner. He selected this the background music for it, and I thought it blended really well with it.
I mean, she's on par, like powerful. And that's all we get. That's all you get. It's done. Stop looking. There's nothing else to see. I saw that and I was like, wow, that is dope. That is so dope. And then I actually tried to look for stuff about your character. And then I realized you don't have a book or anything for this character.
Mm-mm.
All right, hold on. Let me get rid of that so I can try to slow some of this stuff down. We're about to start on into this journey here of what I call chat draw. Okay, I see my Procreate wants to mess up. It's a little
Yeah,
frozen.
yeah, I never seen somebody so excited of the trailer when I showed you. So I remember when I was when you had a pledge when I was pledging for vigilance, and I wanted to thank you with the cameo of my character. Well, at least like a cover. And I showed you the video, like, I worked hard with this character. I really appreciate it, and I never expected such humongous feedback from you.
Well, it was very impressive, and the more I looked, the more I found that you had a lot of pinups of the character done. You had a lot of commissions of the character done, and then I think my first interaction with you was on you pledged to the Kickstarter for Vigilance, and you had got the cameo cover done, and we had Mike Lancet do that cover of Vigilance and Alyssa, uh, and then like I saw the cover. I was like, "Oh my goodness, this looks so good!" Like first the trailer, and then like I saw this dope artwork, and now she's like side by side with one of the FSK characters, and I was like, maybe this character needs to be in the world of freestyle comics. She looks really freaking good, standing next to the Visions, like she can hold her own. Daniel Calvin wants to know where he can get the commission this animation. Hold on, I think I copied the link. Did I? There, I think that's the YouTube link. That's the YouTube link for the commission, the person who did that commission.
Yes, and he's
Yeah,
really very nice to work with. If you give him a lot of imagery and like written ideas, he'll make it into a reality.
awesome. So let's start this off. Let's start this off right. So far, this is the, and I actually haven't decided this is going to be the final piece or whatnot, but I've been using this as a base. At the end of the season, I do a big piece. I'm trying to alleviate and save myself some work and build that piece up as we go here. I need to get my pencil out. Where's my pencil? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So let's start this off here. Let's hear from Alyssa. So tell us your journey. Tell us your story. How do you go from being a fan, crafting a character, supporting Kickstarters, and now you're part of the Freestyle Comics team, and we're working on your book in real life right now. Like, tell us that journey. Where does that start for you?
I think, like for everyone, it always starts with childhood watching cartoons and anime. And as a kid, either you're studying through, like going through school with the books, or you're just sitting there trying to create imagination and little doodles onto your
Mhm.
textbook. And that's what I did.
Okay.
And then what got me more into, I guess, my journey basically is I wanted to I love doing art, and I wanted to make something that was from a piece of paper into reality. And it started mostly in middle school, where I used to do you would call like written role plays. Like you can write like a character basing off of like a world, making a large description using like voices and whatnot. And me and my friends were really into like making like, I wouldn't say fan fiction, but more like just typing in like what characters do, character development, and all that fun stuff. And it
Okay.
was, yeah, and it was, and then and once I hit high school, I wanted to make. I didn't think I would be ever like in comics or, stories and movies. Rather, I think the easiest route during the time, because I've been seeing mostly female artists produce like mostly characters in books. I figured I'd go into that route. And when I was going through that route after high school, I didn't see it going anywhere after that, because it takes many years. And I figured, like, as I was typing, I felt like it wasn't going much anywhere. So I kind of just, I didn't say I wanted to give up. Rather, I felt that maybe I can go to do something else. And I learned that sometimes in order to make something happen, you have to help somebody else. And then one day I went to, I heard about Kickstarter. And first I did a Kickstarter for a creator that was doing a Dungeons and Dragons type of world. So I asked for a cameo for that, and then that's where I had made the first appearance of my character. And then down the line did I see that there was a Kickstarter for Vigilance, and I read a little bit of the description behind it, and I loved that character a lot. So I saw so much potential with her, and I asked for a cameo, and then I met you, and I didn't expect to be here. It's really nice.
Yeah, so that's really cool. I've never that particular journey, I've never heard it from that angle, that you kind of took into your head that the way to jump into it was to help other people, help other creatives making their characters. And you've done a few different Kickstarters, and you've got a lot of the actual, you love and prefer the commission work part of it or whatnot that you get off of it, correct?
Oh, yes. Because like right now I love watching artists just make my character, like turn my character to life on paper. And just like right now what you're drawing, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's really great.
So what about the so what spoke to you about the Vigilance Kickstarter? And I asked that for specific reasons, and we'll reveal that here in a minute. We're gonna be dropping we're not dropping spoilers, we'll be making announcements. Team spoiler alert. Danny J Quick, where you at? I know you're gonna pop in here eventually. But what spoke out to you about the Vigilance Kickstarter?
You know what, to be honest, when I was looking through the Vigilance Kickstarter, I was like, okay, what is this character all about? I see this is a female character. And I don't want to say she reminded me of Superman, because I just got so tired of seeing Superman all over, like, for many years, that when I saw her, I'm like, this is different, this is new, this is fresh, I love it. I feel like I can relate to this character a lot.
That's awesome. Can you say specifically what you were relating to about that character or whatnot? Because that's one of the reasons why I created the character. She is a Superman archetype, but like literally that is where it begins and ends. We wanted to make a character of a strong, powerful woman that could lead in her own comic book and did not rely on a man to come in and save the day or fix anything like that. And that's what we were really trying to go for the series. But also I have 3 daughters, and they are little girls of color, and I want them to be able to see themselves reflected in the work that I make. And when Vigilance came out, she was for like 3 years in a row, she was like the #1 selling comic book at Freestyle Comics when she debuted or whatever. But what specifically about the character spoke to you?
It's really hard, because I did not know much of Vigilance until after, like, I received the Kickstarter comic right in front of me. Because when I read the description, I felt that I liked the character, because other than I felt that it was unique, it was mostly I felt that she didn't have to say much to have a presence of, like, strength.
Okay.
Like, I saw, like, her images, like, mostly strength and struggles that I believe that she can overcome by herself.
Awesome. We've gotten really good reactions from the first for the cover for the #1 issue, where she has her back to the cover and she's looking at us. I've at comic book conventions on the table, I've literally had women walk past it, and then but like their head is still looking at it, but their body's still going forward, and then it pulls them back in. They're like, she's not naked.
Yeah.
she has a costume that's all the way on. It's not over sexualized, and she just looks powerful. She's not even like very shapely or whatnot in the from the first cover artist that we had or first artist, and that's what pulls them back in, and then they pick up the book, we tell them the story about it or whatnot. But when I inquired about a little bit about your character, which we're going to actually talk about her for a minute, I felt like she related to her and Vigilance was kind of in the same realm of kind of where they're at in characters. So, what tell us about Alyssa? Who is this character? What is she about? Why should people be interested in her when she comes out with her book?
Well, my character, how do I explain it? I have to go back a little bit because I started out with my character basically from like it's like a long time role play. And role play meaning like there's many different ones, but the nicer part of it is it's just creating a world and a character. And me and a friend of mine introduced me like, this is how role play is. It's like a play, and there's different ones. There's written ones, there's verbal ones, and then there's like LARPing and whatnot. But my favorite one was like we were talking about these characters, like building the world, and for me, who she is basically my character is just a young bounty hunter, just going off doing like different missions, just wanting to help others. She doesn't really think of herself so much, rather she likes to go out and help like anybody who is in need. And at times with her weaknesses, sometimes she has her inner struggles, but she tends to ignore it by just helping somebody else when they're going through something.
Okay, so she likes to help people.
Yes.
She's got this awesome hair.
Because I try to make my character, in a sense, realistic in a way where you don't often see people stop what they're doing in order to help you or have a feeling of caring. And I wanted to bring that into life, for that there are people like that who are willing to stop and help you, that you're not a burden, that any little thing, like it's like a joy to somebody like to go out and help you.
So she's basically just got a good heart.
Yes.
So what are we saying here? She's a bounty hunter. What does she hunt?
Anything that's mostly when it says wanted posters like dead or alive, she tries to bring like the culprit mostly alive. But the only time she ever has to bring him back dead is if like, which is really hard for her, is when for a fact that they can't like be saved, in a sense. Like there is like there's just so much malice in them that there's just no way of them ever going back. And that's always been a struggle for her.
Okay.
To make that decision, yeah.
All right. So she's not afraid to bring somebody out, take somebody out, rather.
Yeah, but it does weigh on her over time. Like anything, things haunt you after a while. The what ifs and what could have been different.
All right. So it sounds like she has experience with this type of thing. What's up, Jonathan? Thanks for tuning in and joining us, buddy. Let's see here. I actually have the reference that you sent me is up blocking the comments. I want to shrink this down and check the comments. I like her hair. I see the artists that you've have drawn that have all taken a little bit of a different take. What's up, Haley? Thanks for tuning in and joining us today. I see a little bit of the artists taking a little bit of tweaks and take with the hair on her or whatnot.
Oh yeah, I've been having a lot of artists every time I commission, they bring either more life to my character or different ideas, and I enjoy them all.
Okay, so we're saying she's a bounty hunter, and she's doing this to help people. So is there something behind her being a bounty hunter? Like, I know we have Samantha Wolf in our comic book series. She is also a bounty hunter. She used to be a cop, but she's hunting down people. She's hunting down what we call extras, are people that have superpowers in our world, which Alyssa's now an extra in our world. Wolf hunts down extras because she hates them. she has a very troubled past with people with superpowers, and she can't stand them, and she doesn't even like the ones that are actually registered because she just hates extras in general. Why is Alyssa out here being a bounty hunter? Because it seems like she can handle a lot. So she's bounty hunting regular people and people with powers. Why is she making that decision, that choice?
I felt that being a bounty hunter, you can be your own boss in a sense. At the same time, I felt that for my character being a bounty hunter, there's like a lot of leeway, and for her, it was a lot of leeway of like instead of going by the rule book, she can just do things on her own,
Hmm.
be already in the front, versus
Okay.
just waiting on like orders.
So is this her full time gig?
This is her full-time gig, and at times she'll take part-time jobs.
Okay. So is she like a nomad? Does she roam? Does she has roots that she's settled into?
Um, well, she tries to have roots, but then there's always something that happens where she has to go off on her own. It is
Hmm.
eventually when she gets to, not want to spoil anything, to another place where she feels that this is her home, that she can stay in, be herself a little bit more.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, because we still got this book coming out, so we don't want to spoil a whole lot. But I
Yes.
think it's interesting what you say about the character and her point. Daniel says this character sounds really cool.
Oh,
It
thank you.
is. She is really cool. That's why I immediately jumped on it to try to get Alyssa enrolled with FSK. All right, so what's your process for creating her? Like how do we go from start to where she is right now? What is your technique or your process for creating this character?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, it is a lot of inspiration of like the things that I watch,
Hmm.
either or the things I see or move like either movies, like Marvel movies, DC movies, reading mangas and or comics, or watching either 90s 90s shows or things that are recent like My Hero Academia and all that fun stuff,
Hmm.
and I try to incorporate what I could learn. And I don't want to say this spoiled you. Like with the dragons, each of like both of them have different like abilities. One's like fire, the other one's ice. And when I'm watching like shows that incorporate fire and ice, like how do I like make the techniques like unique, or how do I make it to where my character can develop it over time but make it her own? And I try to make it to where she's, and it can be hard like to make a female character unique, to make it to where it's relatable for readers to say, oh, I can relate to that.
Hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. That's something we strive for at FSK, is that we want to have characters that people can connect to and relate to or whatnot. And something that I noticed, one of the reasons why I reached out to you is because you are a woman creating a female character, and I think we need more of that out here in the industry. And I know it exists, but it's hard to find. Or whenever I'm putting out casting calls and we're looking for women that create, um, my audience isn't that big, and so I it's just hard to find, and I think we need more of it. So whatever I can do, or whatever Freestyle Comics and Short Fuse Media Group can do to continue to help strengthen that, that's what we want. That's what we want to do. Plus, the character just looks freaking amazing, and I want to know this character's story. I want to put this character in adventures and things like that. All right, so who is the character inspired by? I know the character at Foundations based off of you. Why did you make that choice?
Well, I think the easiest way I can say is when, for me, when I'm building a character, I try to make that character relatable. And in order for that character to be relatable, in a sense, I had to like put a little bit of myself in there. Like you put a
Hmm.
piece of yourself in there. Like, how do you relate? Oh, I remember this experience that I experienced. This is like a little bit of yourself, a little essence that you add to it, to any story.
Okay, all right. So not all the way based on you, but a touch of you.
Yes. Because personally for me, I I do martial arts on the side, like, for kicks and giggles. I do martial arts. Um I yeah, I do martial arts where I understand, like, I put incorporate with a little bit the character, like what types of techniques you can use. Will this work? Will this not work? And I incorporate certain things in my character, like two swords. I can't do that. No.
Mhm.
I watch like things in shows that you'll see like a antagonist that has like two swords at times, and they seem like very like hard to like defeat. So you have a hero that also does it, and they do it just fine, I think.
Mhm. We got Daryl Rowe. He says, "A like you." I think he says, "I like you." I,
Oh, hey,
look at
like
you.
you.
A
Okay.
like you. So we're just gonna roll with that. All right, Daryl. Maybe you could explain that a little bit better, buddy, so we can understand what you're saying. All right. Let me see what else we got next here. So, all right. So we got a little bit of you in here, but would you say your character? I know you listed off a bunch of things that you happen to be a fan of. Um, So, would you say that your character is influenced by any of these fandoms? For instance, Hotshot is influenced by Invincible, Naruto, Spider-Man, and Wolverine. And my story writing, I take a lot from or inspiration from the Naruto and My Hero Academia. So, would you say you have anything like that that's influencing your character of Alyssa?
You know what? I believe I got some inspiration on I would say a little bit of the Disney movie Mulan for one.
Okay.
I would also say she somewhat by accident really resembles Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy VII.
Man, I love Tifa. I love
She's
her.
and can't think of anything else because sometimes like I'll try to make up my character and all of a sudden like I'll watch something. I'm like, oh, that reminds me of my character here and there.
Hmm. All right. That is groovy. I'm a big fan of Tifa. She was one of the reasons why I was excited to play Final Fantasy VII. And then as I was, because I've never played Final Fantasy VII, so I was
Oh,
excited to get that remake. And I'm coming to find out that she's not the love interest, and so I've lost complete interest in the game. That the other I forgot her name or whatever, but the other girl is the love interest. I'm like trash. It should be Tifa all day. Why is it not Tifa?
oh, you mean like Aerith?
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't know. Like if you play the old game, you can see that why. Because I always thought that they were like Cloud and Aerith would be together, but then when I got to see more of Tifa's personality and throughout the whole story of the old PlayStation Final Fantasy VII, like you get to see like why they're meant to be in a sense.
I know. It's just not what I wanted.
I,
All right. So, what makes this character different? Why does this character stand out for you?
I think the reason why for me she stands out a little bit is that I feel that she's not the typical bounty hunter where she always has to be badass. Rather, she loves to like really sit down and like really talk to somebody. Because sometimes you don't have to have weapons or be all powerful to help somebody. Rather, sometimes you can help somebody just to sit down with them and like discuss like what's going on.
Hmm.
I felt that words can be just as powerful than wielding like your weapons or putting up a fist.
And that's interesting because I'm starting to discover that with you. We've been having our weekly meetings discussing your character and the story that we're creating and how it integrates into the FSK verse or whatever. And the first issue, you lay that down a lot in just the fact that she holds back a lot and she rather, kind of use her own strength rather than rely on her powers all the time.
Yes.
So I thought that was something that was very interesting about her. And looking forward to seeing explored with further issues. But why should people care about this character, Alyssa? Why should people be like, when we drop the first issue of your book, why should people say we need to get that book? We need to support Alyssa. Outside of you just being a cool person, why your character?
Uh, well, I mean, I always think that it's cool to pick up a character that can just wield like swords and dragons. Like that's a plus. But I mean, um, I think why I feel that people should pick up reading this book is because it's not just about her. She's going to interact with a lot of characters where I feel that there a lot of people can relate each and every one character because everybody's like unique. She likes to really do bring people together. And then there'll be at times where she has to do things by herself, and you're gonna see more struggles where because I try to incorporate everyday life in a sense, but of course there's just supernatural stuff going on as well. But I hope that when people pick this up, like they can really just fall in love with not only with my character, but how she works with others by helping them out. And each and every character has like their own unique abilities and their struggles as well.
Okay. Now, speaking about meeting other characters, we discussed that your character is going to make her first appearance in Vigilance. We have a new story arc that the amazing Stephanie Menard is writing with Vigilance, and Alyssa's going to be very significant in that issue and helping Vigilance come to a certain decision. So you went from having a cameo character on what it was issue 3 of Vigilance that your character's featured on, to your character now being one of the supporting cast in a new story arc for Vigilance. How does that feel?
It feels incredible. I did not expect that at all. I felt like it was just like a big jump and that I never would have dreamed. Because again, I never like expected to see myself or like having a character in a comic book at all. It always seems like you have to just really, really like put yourself out there and get to know somebody that's higher up to jump into it.
Awesome. So was it hard? Was it was it more acceptable when you saw that cover that Mike Lancer kicked out? Because that was a pretty badass cover that he kicked out and Veronica Smith colored.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it so much.
So what was your thought process when you saw that? Like when you saw Alyssa standing next to Vigilance, super strong over that city skyline. What was your thoughts when you first saw that?
I had to do a double take. I was like, is this for real? Is this like this happening type of thing? And I had to hold it up a couple times, like, no.
All right. So, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I was just saying it was just unbelievable to me. Like it's just nice. It's just I don't know, holding something in your hand that's like coming to life. It's like incredible.
So was this when I approached you about bringing your character to Freestyle Comics, and she's going to make her, what I pitched was her making her first appearance in Vigilance, and then from Vigilance she would go into a regular series in the Cipher, which you guys will be able to pick up. It'll be Cipher number 3. We're halfway done with that. Clack clack, yeah, get that popping. What was your thought process for that? Was that an easy decision for you, or did you really have to think about that? Did you have doubts about it, or was it just like, nah, let's just jump in and get to it?
Again, like I found it so unbelievable, but I felt like it wasn't real in a sense. That I did have to stop and think about it. Like, so I remember when you were asking me like if I was really interested, like what did I thought, and I had to really research I had to research Freestyle Comics background. Like, are they legit? Are they they're not like fooling me? Like they're not trying to steal my character? And to what I found out, like everything was in the clear, and that was an easy decision. Like, you know what? Yeah, I'm up for it.
Awesome. So that's cool. I like that you background search. Everything's not trying to get me. So this is a new question that I've started asking people. Let's say Alyssa is on an adventure with Storm from the X-Men, and they just successfully save some people from whatever big dramatic thing that it is or whatnot. And then Storm goes back to the X Mansion, and they're like, "So where'd you go?" I was stomping Sentinels with this girl named Alyssa. She's got dragons and swords. What would Storm say about your character to the X-Men? What kind of impression would Alyssa leave?
That's a good question. Because the only thing I can think of that Storm would have first approach my character would be that, because I do put like a little bit of like lore into the story, and they say when dragons are involved in any lore, like they change the weather. So I felt that maybe that's where Storm wanted to have curiosity and appearance, and I think what's why Storm would like my character, or at least have an interest, is that not only can she hold her own, but she's just, I don't know, the type of person she is just very welcoming. She doesn't have to be like very aggressive. She's just like more of an approachable like person.
Mm-hmm. I think that's dope. That little nod and touch. I never would have thought of anything like that, or I've considered that when the dragons appear, she uses them, or coming around her, they affect weather.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a specific nod to Storm, as she is the weather goddess. That's dope.
Yeah.
We did good finding you. That's a great little caveat to add to the story, or finding the connection. That's real nice. And that was not planned, people. I just pulled Storm out because I didn't use Storm the last time I asked the character. I asked about this question. I wanted to get another two of these females teamed up. So, and wow, that's really cool, because honestly, we had to discuss that part of your character, about that she was really an individual who wants to help people, not just with her powers, but actually wants to help people, because like she helps Vigilance. Vigilance is going through some real tough stuff right now, and it start with our issue 4 story arc, and Alyssa really helps Vigilance make a big decision in her life moving forward. And I'm not just saying that to pump you guys up to make sure that you buy it, but make sure you buy it when it comes out. But that's a funny coincidence that's the path that we took, because we talked about what is Alyssa going to do in the book or whatnot, but you never explained that part of her personality to me. And I know we got Jerry Faye Menard, who is writing your book, and I just love what Jerry does. She's great. She's a fantastic writer, and her personality is just she's so positive and bubbly when it comes to the stuff, and I just really respect her as a creative. And I thought that she was to be the person to help you write the story. But like I noticed that we're figuring out a lot more with your character. I think these things that you know about your character, them, but like in our conversations with Jerry and Shaggy, who is also the editor on the book, Andy, if anybody knows Andy, Andy's awesome, that we're helping you pull this information out that you already know, and like applying to things. So I think that whole creative process is really cool, is basically what I'm saying, like finding out about this character and discussing it. So we did our first, so at FSK, we kind of get very detailed with it in the beginning of things. And we do thumbnails of the script, and Jerry has plotted out each page. We read the first 11 pages of the book. Can you walk us through what that's like for you? Because now it's getting real. Like, we're working on a script. Your character is not in these pinups anymore. We're putting words to the life, and we're building the lore for your character. So what was that like for you reading that first script?
Honestly, when you first introduced me to the writer, I was kind of hesitant, because I thought when I first like introduced myself, I was a little bit worried that she's just gonna be like, your story here is great, but I'm just gonna like crumple it up and do something better with it. But that's what I was so worried about. But when me and her sat down and talked, I loved what she said. She said, "Look, she says, you are the heart of the story, and I'm the feet that makes it run." Like I love that when she said that. I just felt that confidence. Like, you know what? All right, like she's willing to work with me. And when I threw in like, told her about a little bit of my character, her background, her story, because there's just so much about her that the writer was just like, not only do I want to do the first part, I want to do more with this. Like, this is fantastic. and I just got so thrilled. And then seeing the process of like bulletin points of like how to create it. At first, it's nice to know to work with people that are willing to not just take apart what you built for so long, rather they in a sense break it to where you're able to walk through the process that you're still in control of things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like regardless of what ideas we have, it's all up to you. This is your story. How do you want this? And I just love that when like the writer and everyone else had incorporates ideas in a sense, like, oh, that'd be nice for this. Like, it just inspires me to be like, you know what, like I'll consider that suggestion, or you know what, that sounds better.
That's awesome because while we were doing that, and that's really good to hear because that's one of the reasons why I wanted to put Jerry on that book because I think she was a great she's going to be a great guidance to you going through this process and working out this character or whatnot. But I was very adamant, and I want to make sure that you felt comfortable in whatever that we did or what we did with the process of making it, because it is your story, it is your character, and we've got experience making comic books or whatnot. But I want to make sure, and we all do, we want to make sure your story, who you are, and what you want the character to be, stands out. So
Yeah.
did you?
Oh, sorry. No, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying,
Finish
I love that. It's like actual like teamwork in a sense, and I just felt like confident and like reassured, where I can just not so much sit back, but like kind of sit down, breathe, like, you know what, like this is gonna work. I have so much full confidence in it.
Awesome, and we want to make sure that you have that confidence and you're comfortable with it, because I don't want to put out I don't, and I know Danny specifically does not want to put out carbon characters or whatever. We want these characters to have heart. We want these characters to have soul. We want people to be able to relate and get into this book. And I'm looking forward to her interacting with the other characters of FSK, because they're definitely going to need her help, because we have some impending doom coming the way to the FSK characters, and hint hint, it kicked off in Hotshot number 9. If you guys actually it's kicked off way before that, but the stones to doom have been laid, and we definitely are leaving the hints there. So if you've got the books, make sure you are taking notes. And if you have not got the books, make sure you go get them, because you're going to want to be a part of this journey. What do we got? I think we have 3 crossovers planned, like 3 actual, we say these are crossovers with all the characters in the books that are actually 3 big story arcs or whatnot. But it's going to be ridiculous, and it's going to be fun seeing how Alyssa will interact with these characters during these scenarios and these situations. So how did you come to terms with the design of this character that because you got her with just a tank top on, some jeans, and I like that one artist actually put her in some Air Force Ones, which I'm trying to add in here too. I love that little sneaky caveat there.
Yeah. I want to say it's purely by accident, because I wanted to where my character was more like, I thought of a white tank top, meaning that like every time like she brings out her abilities, like for example, like the red dragon, like it produces fire. I didn't want her to have sleeves because it's just gonna like burn it off all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured a tank top would be more appropriate for her, where she doesn't have to worry about it, and it just seems like comfortable, like a nice like summer day, and it just kind of just stuck, because every time I would ask other artists to you know, like I would commission other artists to make her, it always like ends up like on a white tank top, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's just more of her signature like outfit.
Mm-hmm. So is there a fun story with that, with Alyssa, how she comes to terms with that and saying like, I'm tired of getting shirts with sleeves, I'm just going to rock tank tops from now on?
Yeah, basically just I figured in order to incorporate, make it like kind of realistic, if somebody actually here like had abilities like that and like they produce fire and ice, like why would you want to wear like sleeves where you're just always burnt off? You're always wasting money just buying like some regular clothes. Sometimes it's better to wear something that you don't have to worry about it all the time.
Well, this is my first crack at drawing her, and I'm having a lot of fun with her. I love the simplicity of her costume, but the fact that she has these dragons on her arms. So, can we get into a little bit of that? Like, are you going to explain where the tattoos come from and why they are so powerful?
Well, I can. I just don't want to spoil nothing.
Oh,
But
no, no, no! I wasn't asking you to do it on the show because we
oh,
got to
okay,
save
okay.
that. We got to get that money, so we got to
Yeah.
save that. I'm just asking: is there a specific story that you have planned that talks about that?
Oh yeah, very much so. I'll explain also like why she just like why she has two.
Okay. Yeah, she's definitely fun to draw. All right, what's her background? Where is she from? Like, what is she?
Um, in a sense, nationality wise, or
Yeah,
just
yeah, nationality wise.
nationality wise, she is I'm gonna say half Asian, half Mexican.
Okay. Let's see here. Bam, bam.
Because to me, I always feel like when I'm reading like stories, like I would say nationalities are just like very like pure, but I always like people when they have like a little mixture of other cultures going on.
Hmm. Well, we're a big melting pot in this country, so we are a big mixture, so it makes sense. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm
And I could be wrong, but the character Hotshot, does he like to eat like is his favorite food like burritos or something?
Yes, yes, it is. He
I
absolutely
think
loves them.
nice because so is my character, and that's why I figured like not it was just like pure coincidence or like one of her favorite foods is that, and then I met you and your character, and I'm like, oh hey, like somehow they can like chit chat about that. I just thought it was
That
fun.
that would be great. That would be great because I think little moments like that in comic books are cool. And Hotshot has not had anybody that he's got to share his love of the burritos with, where somebody can really understand it. And I think he needs that. I think he needs that. I know we have a very specific journey plan for your character or whatnot, but like, yeah, I'm very much so looking forward to her interacting with a variety of characters at FSK. And I think that she will create some interesting stories, and she will just have a blast with or whatnot.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to uh have my character meet all the characters.
Where are we at? All right, we're at 40. So what is? Well, actually, I think you just already answered that question. So is burritos her favorite food?
It's one of her favorite foods. I don't want to say she likes all foods in general, but that's one of them.
Okay. So what would you say her all-time fave food is that she just has to have?
I think her pasta is always the go-to.
Pasta.
Yeah, good old carbohydrates, always good for the next day, all that fun stuff.
Alrighty, alrighty. And what is Alyssa's favorite movie?
Movie?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. There's so many. Oh wow. Hmm.
Like I kind of cheated with mine. So in our world, it would be a made-up movie for Hot Shot. So Hot Shot's favorite movie is like the movie that's based off of Justice, because Justice is his favorite all-time superhero. But if you get outside of that, his favorite movie is going to be Lord of the Rings. He absolutely loves the Lord of the Rings saga, and
Nice.
not because of like the action that's in there, because he does love that action, but the fact of the fellowship. the idea of friendship and endurance, and facing this great, huge darkness, and by the string of their teeth, still going in for it. Like, it's and because it's me, so it's like those are those character influences that affect my character a lot. So that's why I would say that is Hot Shot's favorite movie. So, is there like a moment or something like that in film for you that you just absolutely love? Because the character is partly based off of you.
Yeah. Um, well, it's hard because like there's just so many movies that are just great. Like Lord of the Rings is like one of my favorites, but as for my character, I would say anything that's comical.
Okay.
Only because realistically, if my character helps a lot of people, not that it's like a burden, but it could be draining when you're just sitting down like really like trying to like discuss things with someone, and it can after a while like get you tired, weigh you down just a little bit, that she wants something like uplifting. So she'll watch something like more comical, just like lift up her spirits a little bit, have a good laugh.
Okay. And I think little things like that are cool, that you can sit down and think about something like that for your character, and it adds weight to who the character is. It makes them more relatable and attainable for our readers. It's just you wouldn't think of something as simple as like, well, what's your character's favorite food or movie or whatnot, and why? Could it adds to the character development of it, because then you have to think like, well, why is it their favorite movie, or why do they like that food? Like, is there something specific in that moment that they really enjoy? Um, for me, I will never forget the time, and it's not a big deal to like everyone, but like I remember the first time I went to Chipotle and I got that first burrito. That was like, as the fat kid that I am, that was just ridiculous. Like, that burrito was so big, the food was so good. I called it a giant food capsule because like you didn't need anything else, and like I immediately pictured Hot Shot eating these burritos. They were the perfect thing for him to have on the go because he's sitting on rooftops or he's changing in an alley and he just needs something that he can hold in one hand and smash at the same time. And haha, burritos from Chipotle. So Chipotle, I'm looking for endorsements. We'll put your we'll put your logo everywhere.
I mean, it is a good point because, like, in a sense, like a lot of people know foods as comfort foods. Like, it's a go-to where, for a moment, you're just when you eat something, it's like time goes still for a little bit. You think back of
Hmm.
like childhood things. You think back of like this is what helped you go through a lot of things as well, and it's nice to incorporate when characters like just have a sit-down meal. I think my favorite is when it comes to like movies like Marvel when was Iron Man suggested everybody get sworn offs, and people weren't like familiar with it. So and towards the very end, like they're all you see them like all eating there, like all the mass destruction that's in the background. They had like just a moment to sit down and eat.
Yeah, yeah, I thought that was really cool. It's a simple thing, but it's also cool because they did just go through a lot. So I would
Mhm.
imagine they would be hungry.
Oh yeah,
Haley says for her it's Popeyes chicken.
that's awesome.
Yeah, Popeyes makes some good chicken, so I'm definitely feeling that idea.
Yeah, they do.
All right, we're getting to the end of the road here on this one. I'm gonna have to look up some reference for these Air Force Ones because I'm definitely putting her in some Air Force Ones. Like somebody, like one of your artists drew it, and it's like it was just a piece of it because it got cut off, but I knew exactly what it was, and I respect them for doing that.
Oh
Now,
man, sorry. I'm just like I love watching like when artists like draw like not only a character but like how they. I don't know if it's like I don't know what to call them, like ASMRs, but like I just love when people like start doing like towards the end like the line art behind it too.
oh yeah, that's what they are. I know what you're talking about. Hold up, my thing is frozen up a bit. Oh, there we go. Good, 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 good. It's a little too thick. And so I really enjoy drawing on this iPad. I've learned a ton of little shortcuts for it. Like right now, I'm only going to draw this sword one time, and then I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to put it over in her other hand.
Nice.
But the actual, let's see here. I want to make sure I get all the little nuances and details of this sword down. So, what's the story? Is there a story with the swords, or are they just two random swords?
No, there's stories with the swords.
All right, awesome. Are the swords tied to her tattoos?
Mm, no, I wouldn't say that they are, but I will say the type of swords that she is using um is able to withstand the heat and the frost of her abilities. Because any other sword
Mm,
she uses, they would just break apart.
okay, so that's got me thinking. So that means that these swords are super special to a degree.
Mm-hmm. Cause I studied I've looked at videos where some people try to reenact like scenes where swords are on fire and people explain like you can't do that with like normal swords because this would rust. This is how you do things. So then I try to like incorporate that into my character, like what makes it significant with her swords, like why are these important to her? One of them is like one I won't reveal, but one I will say is that it's able to like withstand the her like heat and frost like abilities that come from the dragon. Well,
Okay.
dragon.
Oh, look at that. Did we just make another sword? Yes, it did.
That's so cool.
Put that there. We want to turn that a little bit more. And we're going to shrink it a little bit. Make it fit with that hand. And there we go. No, what happened? There we go. All right, now I'm going to come in and I'm going to erase all that because her hand is on it. And we are going to, that'll stay in the front. And we're going to go back over here to this sword. We're going to get rid of that. Oh, she's holding the sword now. Awesome.
Oh man, this looks so awesome.
Thank you. So a little off topic because this just made me think of it because I just cut that corner to have me draw that quicker. I saw somebody posted up a tweet of an artist. What's up, Chuck? Man, thanks for tuning in. Shout out to Chuck for joining us today. I saw that an artist had did a commission for somebody, and I guess they got that commission done like by the next day, and the person like they charged like $60 for a pinup. And so the client was like, "Oh, well, I figured that was pretty fair because they're probably going to spend like 8 to 10 hours on it. That's a fair price or whatever." Well, the person sent the sketch that same day, and then like a couple or the next day, the piece was done, and he sent them the final piece. And he was like,
Mhm.
"Oh wow!" He thought it was a little strange that he got it so quick. And he was like, "So how long?" May I ask how long it took you to do it? And he was like, "A couple hours." And he was like, "Really? Do you, do you mind giving me some of the money back because I feel like it
Oh,
should have took you longer."
oh my goodness.
I was like, "Really? That's where we're at. That's what we're doing now." We're like, I don't think people understand that I went to school and we've been trained as artists to be able to do this stuff at a
Yeah,
certain speed. Like that's what
I,
you're paying for.
my goodness. I'm all for you pretty much like I don't want to say the word is like you get what you pay. Like if you know that's what you want and the artist is asking you for that much, like pay them that much. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes you know, creativity. Like they'll give you suggestions like this would be a better way to like draw like have your character like this. I had a lot of like I'll commission a lot of artists, and some of them do feel hesitant, like thinking I would ask for like my money back and whatnot, and because I'll pay them like the amount they want, but if I love the art, I'll pay them extra because I know like it's like art is just like to me watching like my character come to life. It's like it's amazing, so I would pay extra, or I'll tell them like this is fantastic, and sometimes um I get to know the artist so well that like they bring in suggestions for like to make more of my character like unique, and so I appreciate it. So if you're going to pay an artist, like pay them, don't ask for like like take money away from them.
Right. I just thought that was hilarious
It's hilarious, like oh my goodness.
because I've been working with the iPad now for a couple years,
Hmm.
and I just really started like trying to get comfortable with drawing on the iPad, and then
Yeah.
now I've really gotten comfortable with like now doing like the little tricks. Like I did a Vegeta piece with his hands like this, so I only drew the hand one time, and then I
Hmm.
copied and pasted the other hand over or whatnot. So it's these little tweaks and these little things that we learn to
Yeah.
help us get our job done faster. But if he was satisfied with the art, if he was happy with the piece, I don't understand what the issue was.
Yeah, I don't understand either. That's crazy.
Like most people would be happy that they got their piece so fast. Like right now I'm doing one for a guy to give to his daughter for his birthday, and it's got 10 characters on it.
Wow.
It's it's freaking killing me. But
Yeah.
right now we've been on the show for an hour and 3 minutes right now, and
Wow.
probably 50 minutes of the time has me been drawing your character. So, but I've done that 10 times on one piece, plus added a background, and I'm doing the colors and stuff on it. So I don't know, man. Just like comic characters are fun to draw, but
Hmm.
there are things that can slow that process down and make it longer or whatnot. But like
Yeah.
if you like the art, and so what does it matter how long it took the person to get into it? Because like what if they just really enjoyed it and thought it was like a dope piece and they just knocked it out,
Yeah.
and you're gonna try to hold that against them.
Hmm.
Like I'm hoping to get old dudes done today. I want to get it done so I can get over to the printer so I can get mailed out to them. Um, but this this coloring thing, I normally have Veronica do the colors for me, but Veronica is already coloring another massive piece, plus a book that we're working on for China, plus 2 books for Freestyle Comics. So I'm kind of stuck in a rut right now.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes commissioners don't think that, art does take time. So if they do it really fast, it means they've done it for many years to make it that quick. And other times, like I think the longest I waited for an art was I want to say 5 months.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I'm very patient because I never like to rush an artist because sometimes they'll, you know, like anything, like for example, like writing, you can write something all quick. You take a break, you go back to it, and you realize, oh, I can do this better. I can edit this. I don't need to add this much detail into this part. I can add this much here and that much there. And so when I give artists some time to like work on things, that they're able to make it like much better. Well, better than I would have imagined.
Right. And that makes a lot of sense. I am right now. The only thing I got to do now is her forces, and I really want to draw these forces. So I'm looking for images right now, reference of them, because I need a kind of like a down angle on
Hmm.
them. But I want to draw. I want it to be the high tops because I think she would rock. She'd look good in some high tops, some high top forces. So now I'm about to go back over here. We're going to add another layer. I'm going back to my pencil. Let's see here. Where's my pencil? All right. Okay. So, all right. So, tell us this, Liz. When did you fall in love with comics?
When did I fall in love with comics?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I don't want to say when I was young I fell in love with it because I was just more like, oh, these are pretty pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I fell in love with them. I don't quite fall in love with comics. I fall in love with the story within
Okay.
comics. So I would say I fell in love with them during my junior year of high school.
Okay. Can you remember what story brought you there?
Hmm. Trying to think. It's pretty hard to say. Sometimes I like I might have to get back at what the story was, but I know it was something like extended, like an extended background stories with like I don't remember if it was like from DC or in Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like one of those where they talk more things in the background.
Uh-oh, I think I got him. I think I got him. Yeah, getting reference is pivotal when you need it. In drawing some of this stuff. Like I had zoomed in on I did this Hood Naruto piece and I zoomed in on it and I drew like the Jordans on them. I think they are the not the I think the 13 no the 13s. One of the Jordans. It was like the 12s or the 13s and I drew them on there, drew them in full detail. I put the Leaf logo on it and then when I zoomed out, I was like, "Damn it, you can barely see that." I just took all this time to draw the shoe, and you can barely see the damn shoe or whatnot. But it was worth it. I zoomed in on it on my Twitter account so people could see it.
Ah, nice.
I was like, you're gonna acknowledge this damn shoe that I just drew. Somebody is.
It's like the littlest detail that's important.
It super is. I think it. Oh shoot, that's too much. I think it added to who that character is or whatnot.
Yeah. And also advertising shoe brands are not are always a fun way to go to.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Although they don't look like it, but the creator of My Hero Academia is a huge. He loves the Jordans, and that's what Midoriya is apparently wearing. He's wearing some Jordans.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, and then or his version of it or whatever in the article that I read. But and because then when Kobe passed away, he drew my Midoriya with some Kobe's on,
Okay.
and I thought that was pretty cool. Which is also like brand awareness or whatnot. But it's kind of cool to think like what shoe or brand would these characters rock. And right now, your character would rock these forces.
Nice.
Just for this situation, anyway. And by the way, and Alyssa is getting this piece, so she can do whatever she wants with it to help promote her character. Um, I think we already have I already have one idea for it. I really do love making comic books. It's my jam. All right, so we got that in there. And I always make sound effects when I'm drawing comic books stuff. I don't know why. It's a habit. Let's see here. We're almost there. Wanted to make sure I got this right. What else do we have? So we talked about your road to creation. So Did we ask you about that? Yeah, to where you are with FSK, Orange Comics. So, how have you liked the process that we've done, helping you put together the creative team that you're working with right now?
I like the process because I don't feel that push of being in a hurry. Rather, like I feel that everyone like is considerate, nice, and really what like we all. How do I say it? That you guys all know how to like work with around my time, and then I work around with your time, and it's just a nice flow like teamwork that I really enjoy.
Awesome. So right now we have gotten you as the creative and the person that plots out the story, whatnot. We've got you, the writer on the book, and the editor on the book right now. And so we're still looking and searching out artists for it. I know you
Yeah.
have a specific type of artist that you're looking for, um, but I always thought it was interesting when we talk about things that people don't expect to talk about or whatever with making these comic books. Which is one of the things was we had to talk about the budget, and was that did that seem regular for you, or were you like, dang, yeah, this stuff actually cost a nice chunk of change to make? Like, what
Yeah,
what were your thoughts about that when we were going through that? Like when I broke down each part of the book for you.
yeah. I was very fairly new, so when you really kind of in a sense sat me down and explained everything, I'm like, oh wow, they're just not everybody thinks about it. They think like, oh, comic book, this is all you need is an artist and a storyboard, that's it. But no, there's just much more behind the scenes that not everybody realizes.
Hmm.
So it was really interesting just to like look at everything. I'm like, okay, there's a lot more work into it.
Let me see here. Am I erasing the wrong leg here? I think I am. I want to erase that leg. Just that part. So did the numbers that we discussed, did you think that was like, wow, that's a lot? Or did you think, yeah, that sounds about right? Or what you expected?
You know what? I figured that was I think I expected it in a sense. I just
Okay.
was surprised, like again, like the minor details of like looking for not only an artist but like a penciler, and ink, like somebody does inks, coloring, writer, editor. One of them surprised me was I thought a writer coincide with what was the word like adding the little bubbles into the like when a character would
The
speak.
letter.
Yes.
Mhm. All right. So I tried to take a shortcut again there, but that's not going to work. Where is my pencil? All right. Because I need to get this thing wrapped up here. All right. Sorry. I fell back into the art trying to solve this problem here.
Oh no, it's good. Like I really do enjoy watching because it's really nice.
Let's see here. Is that going to work? Yes. All right. So
Like I have artists who when I commission I like when they walk me through the process like, oh, this is how the line art looks like. Do you need something added to it? Or they'll say, oh, I thought of this idea and I enjoyed that, and they start coloring. It's really great.
here we go. Yeah. There we go. And now I'm going to go back to her hair because I got that line there. Bam. Boom. No, that's an arm. Where's that hole at? Where is that hole at? Let me plug that. Yeah, that's the so one of the features on here that I think is so dope is that if I close off the area, I don't have to select it.
Mhm.
Like I would in Photoshop, I can just drop the color where I want it to go, like that. And that adds tons of time, when you're coloring things or filling them in.
Yeah.
But I think our girl here is done.
Oh,
So we're gonna go to our banners here. Alyssa, please give her a follow on Instagram. It is now ticking on. It should be. Yes, it's now ticking on Instagram on our ticker at the bottom of the screen. Give her a follow on Instagram. And we're gonna play this here, and we're gonna watch it be built from scratch. So Alyssa can be followed on Instagram. Also, you can follow and check out her story of her comic book, Taijutsu Gates, which will be premiering in the Cipher #3. Alyssa will actually be making her first appearance in Vigilance, issues 4, 5, 6, and 7. You can follow us on Freestyle Comics on Facebook and Instagram, and FS Comics on Twitter. So be sure to check that out. If you want to look at the books and get that or whatnot, because our books are pretty cool, you can do Sorry, my wife slid me something on the low that I've been waiting for in the mail. Oh yeah, that's nice. But don't get it twisted. It's always good to see my wife too. So I don't want you to think I don't get excited when she gives me stuff. But oh, it's done. So that is Alyssa, and she does have tattoos. I did not put them on her in this scenario, but I think I will put them on in a different scenario. The benefit of Alyssa being part of FSK is that she has access to me, and I create stuff all the time. So our promotional campaign for this is going to be pretty fun. When we come out with it and whatnot. But be sure to give us a follow on Freestyle Comics on Facebook and Instagram, FS Comics on Twitter. Go to shortfusmediagroup.com. Where is it at? Where is that? That should pop up right there. Shortfusmediagroup.com to get any of our books. If you get the physical copy of the books, you get the digital copy of the book for free. And buying any of the FSK titles, I know they come with some free swag like music, digital pinups, screensavers, and things like that when you go ahead and get any of the FSK books. So peruse our website. Be sure to check it out. There's tons of comic books on there, plus the FSK books outside of that or whatnot. And I want to thank Alyssa for being on the show today. She has been awesome. This has been her creative debut. I hope you all enjoyed it. Be on the lookout for her. She is a rising star with FSK, and I'm sure she's going to shatter the walls and barriers outside of that with more creations and stuff. But we're going to try to hold on to her as long as we can. Melissa, do you have any final words to say?
No, just thank you for having me, and thank you so much for everybody's comments and everything. I really hope that once the comic is released, that you enjoy reading it.
Yes, I hope you guys will too. I imagine that when we actually get closer to the book dropping, we're going to get Alyssa and her creative teams on here. With me being the founder of FSK, I can do what I want as far as this chat and draw show because I'm the founder of this show. So I'm thinking with the FSK catalog of books, and I also make it available for other people, is that we actually bring the creative team on chat and draw. So example, when we get ready to launch Alyssa's book, we're going to bring Jerry on here, Andy, Alyssa, the artist, the letterer and colorist, all on to chat and draw, and we're going to discuss the book while I do another pinup of the character. Probably, I'd like to take a crack at a potential villain for her or whatnot, or a supporting cast member. But this is Alyssa, everybody. Wait, she's over here. This is Alyssa, everybody. Get to know her. Find her on Instagram. Find her on Facebook. Follow her. Follow FSK. Follow Short Fuse Media and all that good jazzy stuff. Thanks for tuning in today. And we'll be back Tuesday with a new episode. And Monday, I think Sunday, I'm going to drop some announcements. I'm going to drop some announcements on Chat and Draw. We got some awesome guests and stuff coming ahead and some good things to look forward to. So I've had a blast, but it's time to get out of here. I will chat with y'all later.